for meeting with me,
I'm glad
Mrs.
you're here.
Roberts. Okay, so we've gone over the schedule a little bit and some basic policies and such. So I have more broad questions to ask you, but really important, obviously, about the next few weeks and the next few months of my practice teaching. So we sort of went over this before I turned the camera on, but the general content of the classes to be taught in your schedule, we went over that. Tools for Learning, which is your last class. I'm very excited about.
Last two classes.
Last two classes. I'm very excited about where it's more of a project-based class, which we studied a lot in Teach Now. So I feel like that's going to be very helpful to me to work with the kids on different subjects and oral presentations. And what, besides oral presentations or slideshows, what other kinds of presentations can they do?
Well, we're going to try to do not presentations necessarily, but community service projects is what I'd like to do.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And we were already kind of talking about today, actually, one of the things that the kids were working on, one group, was, we have a fall 7th grade dance.
Okay.
The PTO takes care of that, but I thought it would be a good opportunity maybe for our kids to see if they could participate in the planning or preparing for that. But they would have to go to a PTO meeting, which happens, I think, at 2 o'clock on Tuesdays.
Right.
So they could sit in and give their presentation, but it'll be good practice for them to work with adults.
Okay. But when you said something about presenting to the principal. Do they present their ideas to the principal?
Yes, for
through
approval.
slideshows or presentations?
They're going to do both.
Okay.
We've been practicing, hello, my name is, a
Right.
proper handshake, it meets
Right.
and
Oh,
firm,
that's
and what they need to say. So that's kind of where we're at. Some of the groups are at. Some are not there yet.
Right.
Some are definitely going to need your help.
I love this though. I
Yes.
didn't think that there would be a class like this.
Right.
And, so that's fabulous. I'm excited to learn about that. And do they just do one community service project for the whole semester or all year?
These are only semester classes.
Okay.
So we're just because it's still new to us. They had Tools for Learning last year, but it was a different teacher, and so they gave it to 2 different teachers. So now there's 4 classes of Tools for Learning, and so it's just kind of free reign. We get to kind of figure out what's going to work, what's not going to work, and what we want to do. We probably, Constitution Week, I believe, is the last week in September, maybe. And so we might want to think about, maybe that's one of the first things that you can do is be thinking about an idea that we can, do for Constitution Week.
Okay.
Maybe something that the kids can work on, but, you kind of facilitate that maybe.
Great. I can't wait for that class to see what they're up
Yeah.
to. That's kind of up my alley, so I like
Okay,
that
yes,
coming from
yes,
advertising.
that'd be great.
Okay, so let's see. And then can you just kind of give me more, you said the pre-AP literacy classes were the students that were, very, they want to get everything right. So that's sort of the challenge with them. They don't, and I understand that. I have a 6th grader that's like that. And, he just wants everything to be perfect.
Right.
Is that kind of how the entire class is?
But the pre-AP classes, yes.
Okay.
Now, what we are encountering, because this year they did get to pick if they want to be in pre-AP.
Okay.
There was not, the requirements weren't there.
Okay.
And so because they got to pick, some of them are finding that, wow, this might be too much for me.
Okay.
And so, but they are going to have to maintain. Now they're, so that's one of the struggles that we're encountering, and I don't know if they can get a schedule change at this time.
So the teachers didn't recommend them. It was their own choice.
It was their parent or their own choice.
Okay. Wow.
And they do that at the high school.
Okay.
You can pick at the high school, and so that was kind of, if a parent said they wanted pre-AP, they went ahead and, parents know their own children,
So some of them, if they chose, they may be finding out that it's a little bit over their head, or, and they're. Okay.
And I've already had one come to me and talk to me, and I said, well, you need to talk to the principal, and you need to talk to your parents.
Right.
It's up to you guys now.
Okay, well, that's good to know. That's some information I didn't have.
Yeah.
Okay, so also I wanted to talk about, we kind of discussed an activity just now that maybe I could participate in, think of an idea for Constitution Week, and then Can you think of any other instructional activities that you'd like me to be engaged in during the first few weeks that you can think of that, you know?
Oh, yeah. You won't be sitting around, let's put it that way.
I don't want to. I have to learn as much as possible.
You know, because we've got the 90-minute block now, and especially with all my co-teach classes and those grade level classes, we're, like even today, we started doing small group work. And during my co-teach class, you know, we've got the special ed resource teacher in here as well. And so, but I had 3 groups. So I had one group listening to the CD. I'm a hands talker, so,
Right.
by the way.
I am too. I am too.
So they listened to the CD while Miss Ferguson sat and actually read, you know, the book that we're reading. And she read and talked to a different group, and then I worked with a different group on writing. And you know, they had to research, you know, the biography of the author, Linda Sue Park, and then they had to, you know, answer a certain question. And I've got a hyperdoc in which it's all in their Google Classroom, and so here's, you can see that. So these are all the things that they have to complete for this book so far, but I'm going to keep adding to it or, you know, take away. And so this is what they had to do. They had to read the directions, click on the biography link, and then read the biography and then answer it in their composition notebook.
Okay.
And so, and here's one of the things you have to monitor and adjust. I don't have laptops in here right now because we're map testing.
Okay.
So we had all the Google apps put on the iPads, but Chrome wasn't put on the iPads yet. So we were struggling. So they couldn't, because they were supposed to type it up in a document, a Google Doc, it wasn't pulling up.
Okay.
So that's a monitor and adjust moment. It was
Right.
just, you know, so
Think on
that's
the
one of
fly,
those,
yeah.
absolutely. And so that's one of the things, you know, and like with my co-teach class, I just gave them, if you can see on the board, there are 3 things that impact Linda Sue Park's writing career. A very simple basic topic sentence. And then I had to talk them through, you know, find the first example, then get specific evidence from the, you know, the biography that supports that.
Right.
And so when we met in small group today, that's what they did. I had them read out loud what they had already written. And as a whole little group, they listened and we critiqued each other's writing.
Right.
Say what was missing, and they, wow, I was impressed. They did a really good job.
Oh, that's great.
You know, and hearing,
Yeah.
you know, some kids missed the question completely and summarized, and others are like, they didn't answer the question.
Right.
You know,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's exciting when they recognize it. So that's one of the things. And we'll be doing a lot of group work. So you'll
Okay,
be
good.
working with a specific group, and you'll change every. You know, I mean, you won't always be doing the same thing because I want you to get familiar with everything. You know.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'd like too. So they're the group that's working on this book. And then do you work with Ms. Ferguson on coming up with the activities and the lesson plan, or is that all you and then she's?
I did. You know, and some of the things that we do have been passed on for year after year after year.
Okay.
This is all mine. This, you know, but if she has ideas, but she's not real googly, so she's just like whatever you do, and she takes what I have and she modifies it for her actual special ed group that she goes and teaches, because she has other groups that she teaches.
Right. Okay.
And then if we need to make modifications, you know, within this co-teach class, then we do that.
Right.
You know, but I like to strive high.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, absolutely. And then take it from there, see
Yeah,
how they deal with
absolutely.
that. Right. And then on pre-AP, what are they working on right now?
We're all doing the same exact book right now.
Okay.
You just like see, and even in my hyperdoc, I have additional things for just pre-AP to
Okay.
do. So they have different activities that they have to do. They still have to do some of the same, but I'm requiring different things for them as far as my expectations are a lot higher for them than they would be for, you know, and again, some additional, you know, and like my pre-AP, like this Thursday, I'll start off with